If you've been jumping from multiple manifestation methods to another, from one technique onto another, and then you're wondering why nothing is sticking and why your manifestation isn't fully coming together, this is going to explain why. It's not so much about the technique, but actually how you think whilst applying all of the methods that you do. And I'm going to delve into why this actually matters so much in this video and explain what you can do to improve and what things to let go to really manifest powerfully. Hey guys, today we are talking about letting go of techniques, not overcomplicating, and really just simplifying the manifestation process. So maybe what you're doing right now, you could rethink and restructure some of the things you do, make it easier on yourself. It's not even about following rules. It's about what's going to be the easiest, most powerful, direct method to shift your mindset around and stay calm. So that's really what I want to delve into today, because I know people get confused or overwhelmed with manifesting. And speaking of which, that is kind of the aim of all my videos, to simplify, demystify the manifesting process. There's so much content out there, and actually, this whole coaching sphere is starting to get oversaturated, but I really want to help keep things simple and to the point so you guys know exactly what to do, how to do it, and just get your manifestation done. So if that sounds good, please do hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button right below the screen. It takes 1 second, completely free, and it would mean a lot to me, but you actually will benefit. You'll let YouTube know that you want to see this content again and more from my channel. And then every time I upload, which is almost every single day, you will be one of the first people to see and interact with all my content. So yeah, also I'll pop on screen all my coaching offers. If you want extra support, direct one-to-one help, you have more questions, you're struggling with your own manifestation, you can sign up as a member. I have tons of exclusive member content every month, or you can work directly with me, and my website is linked below in the description box. So now let's start the video. So a lot of people tie into the idea of, I need to do so much, I need to do more, I need to do all these methods. There's always this massive list and overwhelming process when it comes to manifesting in order to get what I want. But that's the kind of mindset that will just keep you, chasing results, chasing progress, trying to literally like chase after your manifestation instead of realizing I'm at the center. My mind creates it, my thoughts create it. That's the main thing that I need to hold on to, and it comes to me. I don't need to do more than that. It's supposed to be a very calm, chilled mindset. That's the best way to think about it, because it's just going to keep you chasing. And in this perpetual cycle, you're going to feel stressed or anxious or kind of doubting and questioning your 3D reality, because you're going to analyze everything around you and then think, well, I can fix it with another method, or I'll fix it by doing this. But really, it's just your thoughts at the center of everything, not so much the technique that you apply. So just the idea of, getting fixated and just hyper fixated on fixing yourself and fixing, in order to manifest, well, then I need to change this, I need to do this, I need to do that, instead of really thinking at the center and the core of what's going on. How are my thoughts? Are you thinking positively? Are you thinking negatively? Does it align with what you want to create? Those are the kind of things to start with. So the answer is most likely no, you don't need to add in more methods. You don't need to keep doing more and more, or, jumping to different methods. Obviously, techniques can help, and everyone connects better with different things. Like some people really love visualizing. Some people just like to keep it simple, maybe with robotic affirming. Any method that applies repetition and that you're consistent with, and that is going to help you mentally focus on the end result, you can do that. But it's really coming down to you mentally embodying the version who already has it. That's the goal of every technique that you apply. So whether it's affirming, scripting, applying revision, visualizing, meditations, whatever it is, as long as you're mentally focusing on what it would be like to have that end result now, imagining that you're already living that life with the end result, being the version of you who has it, whether it's in a relationship with SP, at your dream job, with the grades that you want to graduate with from school, whatever it is, as long as you're mentally focusing on that and trying to build up those assumptions and, changing your thought patterns and the way you literally think consciously, but the beliefs that are also stored in your subconscious mind, as long as you're mentally focusing on that, the method themselves don't matter. You don't need to keep building on more and more. You don't need to do every single element. So you're already manifesting right now. So it might not be for your specific manifestation, but even as you're watching this video, you are manifesting something. You're building into new beliefs, or reaffirming a belief that you already have, assumptions, the way you think, the way you feel, everything to do with your mind and your body. It's all kind of, you know, whether you're in a good mood, a bad mood, everything is kind of tied together and influencing one another. Like I said, you might be creating new positive beliefs whilst watching this video, hopefully you are, or you might be reaffirming something that you already assume, or thoughts keep popping up in your mind. We are just manifesting 24/7. We're constantly manifesting with our thoughts, the way we think, and that's why repetition is so important, because that's the only way that you're going to break a negative cycle of reaffirming or constantly worrying about, you know, a specific outcome or circumstance that has been a concern for you. So your mental state is really at the key of everything, you know. And I know emotions don't manifest, and I have reaffirmed this a lot in my videos, because the emotions themselves are not going to create an outcome. Like if you have a really happy day, it doesn't mean your SP is gonna conform the next day. It can help, it can be a big boost. It's great if you can get your emotions and your mental focus in alignment, but the emotions themselves won't manifest. I just wanted to reiterate that. But you know, everything feeds into one another. Your thoughts create 24/7. The way you think, the way you feel, all of that can help tie into becoming that new version of you. And ask yourself, you know, who do you assume that you are right now? What are your assumptions about who you are? Successful, happy, fulfilled, grateful, excited for having that end result, having that manifestation now. So and it's not about the emotions, but it's about the mindset, right? So do you think as if you're already the version who has it? You know, who do you assume you are, or what are the assumptions that you're building into? Obviously, you don't need to be at the end result at 100% yet, or at all. Your manifestation can still come in before you've reached that point, you know, in your physical reality. But who are you thinking of yourself as? How do you think about your life? And remember that it's your dominant assumptions that create. So not every single thought. That's important to reiterate as well for anyone who's new to manifesting or a little concerned. The odd doubt here and there, it's not going to manifest. Also, likewise, if you have one type of thought and you know, it's a negative circumstance and you keep thinking about it maybe 10 times a day, if you catch 7 of those thoughts and flip them around with your mental diet, that's completely fine. That's great. You're doing really well, and you can build on that. You can try and catch as many as you can. But because we have so many thoughts, it's okay to have the odd doubt, obviously. It's not that every single thought is reshaping your reality. It's your dominant focus. So again, the repetition, the consistency, letting go of that old way of thinking and questioning and trying to overanalyze even the manifesting process. How do I do it? What should I be doing? Simplify it. Pick what works for you, focus on that. You don't need to do every single element. I like to go over this with my clients actually, because you just never know what people will enjoy or connect with, or you can differentiate it, but there's no need for you to have to do those things. It's only if someone's really struggling or maybe gets bored or struggles with a structural routine, but you don't have to differentiate. You can pick one method. So again, instead of panicking and starting to overanalyze and think, what else can I do? What else should I do? How can I force it to speed up? Ask, who am I thinking as? What version of me am I thinking as? Am I still stuck in that old story, or am I thinking as the version who has it? Even if it's just through your mental diet, or ideally through your conscious thoughts, you're starting to think more and more, and automatically that new story is starting to filter into your conscious thoughts. That's a really positive sign as well. So as I said about not over-analyzing the 3D or trying to make decisions based simply on what's showing up in front of you, and you're panicking about the result of your manifestation, you don't need to micromanage the whole process or the results, the movement, you know, temporary circumstances, like anything to do with social media, communication, notifications, whatever, like communicating with other people in any way that might tie into what you're manifesting. You don't need to micromanage or try and force a different outcome. Just like, you know, with the actual results, you don't control the how, you don't need to control the end result. You just need to focus on what you're working on with your own mindset right now. So it's about building into that new version of you and the new version of your life. What is that new identity, the new positive shifts that you're creating with the way that you think? So remember that you don't need a massive list, or you don't need to fully understand or test out every single method. If you want to, you can, but I'm just saying that you guys, obviously you don't have to manifest. It doesn't have to be all of these rules and things you have to do, otherwise you will fail. As long as your thoughts are aligned with what you want, that's the key element to hold on to. So you don't need a massive list of testing out loads of new methods or different approaches. If you don't want to, you don't have to, and it's not going to affect your manifestation. So an intention that you can set with your thoughts and throughout the day, and applying your mental diet and just intentionally thinking when it comes to your manifestation, and obviously anything tied to that, to do with dating, relationships or career, money, self-concept, whatever it may be, as the version who expects it to happen. You expect to get that result. You expect your manifestation to be a success. You just expect these amazing things to happen for you in life. Try and set an intention to think that way throughout the day, and say, I know it's going to happen for me, so I'm just going to go about my day as if that's true. And just overall, remember guys, it's simple. It's meant to be simple. It's meant to be empowering, enjoyable. That's the ideal way to approach manifesting. So it's your dominant focus that creates, not every single thought. So you don't need to try and do a million times more, or test out brand new methods, or constantly jump from one thing to another. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's meant to be a simple approach. It's all about the way you think. Just your inner thoughts, your inner mental state. Who do you think as throughout the day, alongside looping your affirmations? All of that is building into creating those shifts. So that's what you need to focus on. Literally yourself, not worrying about whatever's going on in physical reality when it comes to your manifestation. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave this here, but hopefully that was a reassuring, helpful video. If you did enjoy that, please do thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.